Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel once again, and today we are going to talk about another EV SPAC, which may be a really good buy in October. So yes guys, we are talking about another special purpose acquisition company which goes by the name of Spartan Energy Acquisition Corporation. And I mentioned October because in this month there might be two huge catalysts coming for this stock, and that's why I think that there might be a really good opportunity to just invest in this particular stock, especially because the price at which this stock is right now, it's a really good buy. And considering those two upcoming catalysts, you might see a really good spike in the stock price. So the layout of today's video would look something like, first, why you should like this video. Yes guys, if you really like this video, then I request you to please hit that like button because it really helps the YouTube algorithm, and in turn it helps me to promote this channel. And if you're a new visitor here, then please don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button as well. Or if you're an old viewer and haven't subscribed the channel yet, then I request you again to please subscribe this channel because I really would appreciate that. And it motivates me to bring up such content to you guys which might help the needful out there. So now the real layout of today's video would be something like the following. First, we'll be discussing about the introduction of the company and the Special Purpose Acquisition Corporation and what is the SPAC about. Then my favorite, my bullish analysis, in which we will also be discussing the future projected financials of the company, and we will do the benchmark evaluation as well. Then one of the most important parts of any investment which an investor should be really careful about or should take into consideration is the risk of investment. So we will be discussing the risk involved in this particular company. And then last but not the least, my final verdict regarding this stock. And guys, before we jump on to the real content, I would just like to clarify one thing, that I am not a financial advisor guys, and I'm not here to give you any advice. I'm here to give you my opinion on this stock or any other stock and to show you my investment strategies which might help you to make your own strategy. And that's it. So now let's jump on to the real content. So we are talking about Spartan Energy Acquisition Corporation. So Spartan Energy Corporation is another special purpose acquisition entity, or let's say blank check company, with the purpose of entering into a merger. And Spartan Energy Acquisition Corporation is sponsored by a private investment fund managed by an affiliate of Apollo Global Management. Now Apollo is led by its managing partners Leon Black, Joshua Harris, and Mac Rowan, who have worked for more than 29 years and led a team of 1,421 employees. And the company with which Spartan Energy Corporation is going to merge with is Fisker. Now, Fisker will be another EV automotive manufacturer headquartered in Los Angeles. Now, their first automobile, which is called Fisker Ocean, looks more like an SUV, will be arriving in 2022. Now, this is a really important point to be considered by the investors, which we will discuss in detail in another section of this video. And Fisker is advertising their Fisker Ocean to be the world's most sustainable vehicle. How? Well, the materials which they are using will be made from recycled abundant fishing nets and plastics from the ocean, which are used in environmentally conscious interior. Plus, to brief up on their performance, electric vehicle range of approximately 250 to 300 miles, available with four-wheel drive and high-performance dual motors, optional full-length solar roof with possibility of over 1,000 free miles a year. So, like I mentioned, they are advertising their car to be quite environmental friendly with vegan interiors and recycled materials, plus unique flexible lease, which according to me is not sensible to advertise right now when the car is coming out in 2022. But anyways, let's talk about some of the analytical points now. So at the time of making this video, Spartan Energy Acquisition Corporation with the ticker symbol SPAQ trading at NYCE is trading at $14.42 with a market cap of $994 million. So now moving on to some of the bullish points. And with that being said, the people behind the idea and the business are always important, according to me at least, and I see here that they are not lagging in this department at all, with overall good experienced people and good management team, which will be required to make this business running. And with using Apollo's global integrated platform, they seem to have enough funds and resources to hit a major market. Now coming on to the proposed transaction overview, which is quite an important part. So here's the transaction structure. So Spartan has proposed to enter into a business combination with Fisker, a designer, developer and manufacturer of electric vehicles. The transaction is expected to close in second half of 2020, which now could be Q4.
It is anticipated that the post-closing company will retain Fisker name and be listed on NYSE. The transaction inclusive of the planned $500 million PIPE financing. Now, PIPE means private investment in public utility. That means these funds will be raised through stock market. Is expected to fully fund Fisker to start of production of the Fisker Ocean SUV. Now the valuation, so we will discuss this further in this video as well in detail, but just to summarize this, transaction implies a pro forma enterprise value of $1.9 billion, which is 0.6 times based on the projected 2023 sales of $3.3 billion and 4.3 times based on projected 2023 adjusted EBITDA of $441 million. And now coming on to the capital structure, the transaction will be funded by a combination of Spartan cash held in trust account. So just to clarify this, guys, that every time when a special purpose acquisition company is merging with another company, there's always a trust account, a third party account, which is kept to raise funds. So transaction expected to result in $1 billion net proceeds to the company. That means this third party trust account will have approximately $1 billion, which will be used by Fisker. So Henrik Fisker, who is the chairman and CEO of Fisker, well, this name is quite important to remember because we will be discussing this name further in this video as well. But anyways, for now, Henrik Fisker have designed quite a few cars, as you can see here, and these designs are quite noticeable. So he's bringing up this design experience to Fisker. So like we talked about, that Fisker's first vehicle will be an SUV named Ocean. So here are some features and specifications from Fisker's Ocean. So ranges from 250 to 300 miles, which is pretty okay. 30 minutes of charging for 80% of range. ADAS package, optional photovoltaic solar roof, optional head-up display, and it is supported by mobile app. Now some specifications is that it has 5 passenger capacity, greater than 80 kilowatt hour battery, 7 exterior colors, vegan interior and recycled materials, which we discussed already, 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive, and available for purchase or unique flexible lease. So this leasing function will be quite appropriate when the vehicle will be finally out. So until June 24, 2020, they already had 25,000 plus soft orders from 118 countries, which is a revenue of approximate $1.3 billion, plus 5,500 plus hard orders. That means the deposits were already made from 32 countries, which results in a revenue of $275 million approximately. Now, anticipated available Q4 2022 starting at $37,499 and $379 per month. So this is an option with $2,999 drive off. So here are some attractive features from Fisker's Ocean, which according to them will help them to sell their vehicle, including California mode. That means all the 9 glass panels can be pushed down with just a single click. Accepted 5-star rating, Fisker unique high mounted rear indicator, photovoltaic solar roof, which is according to me is quite attractive, to be honest. Accepted to be world's most sustainable vehicle because of all the environmental friendly materials they will be using. Unique user interface on large curved screen, which is according to me okay. I think in all the EV vehicles this function will be included anyways. Then larger interior space for vehicle size. Then real modern SUV design. So this design is quite good, to be honest, and this might be an attractive feature according to me, I mean. And then 16-inch large curved screen with haptic buttons, full color augmented head-up display with connected karaoke mode, syncs with Flexi app. Okay, now Fisker's Ocean no doubt will be facing a highly competitive market, but they say that this would be a high premium model yet affordable. So as you can see, the price comparison of Fisker's SUV with all other electric SUVs or crossovers, Fisker's price range starts from 37K, which is the cheapest solution amongst all SUVs out there until now. And as you can see in the chart below, that the demand for SUVs had been increasing in the past years and thus have resulted in more sales over the last years. So according to this study, there will be an approximately 30% compound annual growth rate for EV SUV market, which gives thus Fisker more opportunities. So this is on a table showing that Fisker's Ocean will be the cheapest vehicle package amongst all other competitors. So Fisker will be providing quite a cheap leasing solution. So as we can see here that you can buy Fisker Ocean with a monthly installment of just $379 for their SUV. And if you compare it with its competitors, then Tesla Model 3 sedan, just sedan is with $523 per month, and Jaguar crossover $915 per month, and this is the SUV. So they are providing a cheap SUV solution, but to be honest guys, this can change because it's a span of 2 years when they will be giving out their vehicles. So I'm not sure if these rates will be applicable after 2 years. And honestly guys, I don't really like the concept of leasing. I like the subscription model more, like we saw in case of Kanu. But anyways, they are providing a cheap solution, so according to me it is a good point, let's say, for Fisker. And when we talk about EV vehicles, the most important thing is the battery. So Fisker is negotiating with Volkswagen to secure a source of battery supply, and Volkswagen has issued battery supply contracts worth $50 billion. And guys, this is one more important thing which from an investor point of view is quite important, that this news is not yet out, and this could be one of the triggers which could trigger the stock price to go even higher. So like we just saw, Fisker is providing a really cheap solution, and as we can see right here in the table, Fisker Ocean is a really cheap vehicle package. So they have 4 different models: base model, sports model, power sports, and extreme model, and all these models are comparatively at a really cheaper price when it comes to their competitors. And like we already discussed before, that the vehicle can be controlled by a flexi app. That means you can close the doors, you can track your mileage with your app. So these apps are quite common nowadays with Mercedes, BMW, all the hybrid cars. These apps are quite available, and this is not the big new thing, let's say, but if they are providing this, they have to really upgrade this app and give some extra things which will give them an edge over their competitors. And they do have a nice manufacturing strategy according to me, because as we know that the global automotive production industry is already suffering from overcapacity of approximately 20%, and as a result they expect to partner up with an existing manufacturer. And some benefits of these strategies are that they can ensure certainty of production scale up and vehicle build quality. They can really avoid substantial upfront investments, which is quite a good thing, to be honest, for a startup, minimizing on manufacturing carbon footprints, and consistency with goal of producing a truly zero emission vehicle. So Fisker is currently working in building up a good relationship with Volkswagen, and these are some of the milestones which they're anticipating. So as we know that the start of production will be happening in Q4 2022. This is the anticipation, and in second half of 2020, supply and manufacturing agreement will be out. And this is, guys, this could be one of the triggers which could really trigger up the stock price. And then in Q4 2021, the pre-production will begin, and in 2020 they already had a corner store agreement, but I didn't see this news coming out. So I think this has still to come out, and this could be one of the other triggers which can be good for the stock price. So Fisker will be partnering up with Pivot. I hope I pronounced it right. But anyways, it's an automotive brand which provides local storage and service facilities, and they will be providing service facilities for Fisker vehicles as well. So the owner of the Fisker vehicle will have the flexibility to reserve services or book an advanced service for the car. And but like I said guys, this is not a huge advantage, as nowadays all the car brands, all the luxurious car brands like Tesla, Mercedes, BMW, Audi, all have this function. But anyways, let's move forward. So guys, Fisker's development plan looks something like this. So the SUV, the Ocean, is anticipated to come out in 2022, and Platform 2 models are yet to be discussed, and then the luxury models from Platform 3, which will be called the Emotion, is supposed to be out in 2023. But remember guys, these are just anticipated times. And this also shows that Fisker is planning a big game, and that is a positive point, at least according to me, as they are coming out in the market with just one model, but a good one to compete, because they will be putting all their resources on making this SUV to be in the game at par with its competitors in every possible way. So like we already saw before, that they also claim to be world's most sustainable vehicle and will leave almost negligible environmental footprint, which according to me guys is a very good point to be considered, as in the coming 2 years the environmental consciousness will probably increase in the people, but that also actually means that other competitors would also be working on this as well. as 2 years is quite a long time, to be honest, until their first vehicle is out. So these are some projected margins which they claim to achieve with the different vehicle range. So with the base model, the expected gross margin is supposed to be 5 to 7%. Now, of course, it is quite less because to compete, they would have to lower the prices and the profit margins will be lower as well. But they will be securing pretty decent margins with their other models like Sports, Power Sports, and Extreme, up to 33%. So these are some anticipated numbers of financial projections regarding Fisker's Ocean SUV. So the projected number of Fisker's Ocean produced in 2025 could reach approximately a huge number of 160,000 vehicles just in that 1 year, which gives a revenue of $13.2 billion approximately. But now guys, let's talk about the year 2023, which is the year right after their first vehicle coming out, that is the Fisker Ocean. And even in that year, the expected revenue is projecting towards $3.3 billion, which is not that bad to be honest for a startup, with free cash flow position of $0.1 billion. So with the upcoming transaction, they will reach a pro forma equity value of $2.9 billion with the enterprise value of $1.9 billion. And comparing it with its current market cap, well, there is a room of minimum 47% for this stock price to rise. And if you further want to compare the valuation of Fisker, then let's compare it with Nikola, because Nikola as well has no product at this moment. And you can clearly see here that Nikola's evaluation is at 15.2 times their projected 2023 sales, while Fisker's is just at 0.6 times their 2023 sales. And not just that, guys, even the median, or let's say the average margin of the industry, stands at 0.9 times the projected 2023 sales, and Fisker's valuation is 0.3 times lower than that, which makes this company at a really good valuation and a cheap value, to be honest. Now, to cover the risk on this investment, I would like to refer to this article which was out a few weeks ago, and it says, and we are well aware about this fact, that over 50 SPACs have been formed in 2020 alone, which have raised a capital of $21.5 billion, and Spartan Energy Acquisition is one of them. Now, the company's big news is that it's merging with, of course, Fisker, as we know, and the equity valuation, what we already saw, of the merger would be around $2.9 billion with $1 billion in gross proceeds, and this $1 billion will be used to finance the production of Fisker's electric vehicle, the Ocean. Now, this article further says that this could be a possible comeback story. Now, why so? And this is quite important, guys, which brings us to our first risk involved in this investment. Now, legendary car designer Henrik Fisker, the founder of Fisker, previously took a crack at the EV market. Yes, he established Fisker Automotive, which went bankrupt within 6 years of its launch back in 2007. Now, guys, this is one of the worries of the investors and the first risk involved for investors, because if it failed back in 2007, okay, we can give them a green flag saying that in 2007 there was not this huge hype surrounding the EV industry, but Tesla still succeeded. Anyways, let's keep Tesla aside. So my question is that, okay, if we say that now the EV industry is booming, so Fisker's second chance may work, but we should not also forget that with all this hype in the EV market, the competition is also increasing. As you can see, all those new SPACs are EV SPACs. So yes, there will be a huge market to target, but only those will survive who will have the right product, right marketing, right margins, and right strategy. And Fisker already failed once in all those departments. So that's one of the worries from my point of view, and I guess for every investor out there who is planning to either invest in Fisker for a longer period of time or even for a short period of time. And well, what we can do is just wait and watch if they will succeed or not. Now, the second risk involved in this investment is that this time Fisker is outsourcing the production of its vehicles, which is quite a different strategy than what they had previously. But this strategy also involves a big risk because they're outsourcing its production to Volkswagen, and Fisker initially hoped to finalize an agreement with the German automaker Volkswagen by July 2020, and like I mentioned also in the beginning of this video, that this news didn't come out. So that means it seems that the talks have broken down. Though Fisker hopes to approach Volkswagen again later this month, that means it was in this article came out last month, so in September, it didn't come out, and it appears that company is considering other options. So like I said, this could be quite risky. If Fisker had been able to outsource its production to Volkswagen, it would have gained access to Volkswagen's unique supply chain, substantially lowering its costs. So if, let's say, the deal is not completely off the table, if they are successful in signing up this partnership with Volkswagen, this could be a huge news for Fisker plus for the investors, and this could become a big trigger for the stock price as well. So there is a risk involved as well, but this could also become a blessing in disguise. And now the most important factor to be considered, which gives our third risk to be considered from an investment point of view, and which I also mentioned in the beginning of this video as a matter of concern, is that their first vehicle is coming out in 2 years. That means we cannot decide this investment based on any fundamentals, as there is no revenue until 2 years. So in this time, we can easily see and experience a huge volatility and a massive drop in the stock price. And the fourth risk involved is quite obvious, guys. That is the huge upcoming competition. And during this fall and rise of these EV vehicles and companies, be aware, guys, this is not just in case of Fisker, but regarding any other EV stock. And be ready to see huge volatility because investors will be jumping from one EV stock to another. And it brings us to my final verdict. So according to me, guys, it is a good buy in this $14 to $15 range at which this stock is right now, and until the merger happens. So October seems to be a good month for the stock. So it could be a short-term investment until the merger, and then this becomes more of a long-term investment after the merger, because guys, this is a normal mindset of the investors now, for all these SPACs, that wait until the merger, see the spike and then sell off. And then this is what my plan is for this particular stock as well, and this will eventually happen with this stock as well. So I will keep it until the merger, take out my profit, and I'm expecting a profit of over 50 to 70%, and then sell it. So this would be my strategy. So do not expect huge returns after the merger is complete until 2022, until their first vehicle, the Ocean, comes out into the market. And as a disclaimer, guys, I have bought 50 shares of SPAC until the merger at an average of $14.2.
So that's all, guys. So like you already saw, that I have bought into this company at an average of $14.20. And my strategy regarding this stock would be that I will wait for those two upcoming catalysts, and of course the merger, the biggest catalyst. And then I would probably sell all of my position, because we might experience a massive sell-off after the merger, and after this sell-off the stock price will or might stay at that position for a really long time. Now I'm not saying that it won't increase in these 2 years span until their first product comes out, but I don't think that it will increase with a big margin like it might now with the news of the merger or before the merger. So that's it, guys. That will be my strategy with respect to this particular stock. And yeah, that's all for today. So see you in the next one, guys. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and ciao.